Next is item number 11, the appointment of the vice chair. Um, Before we get going, let me open up, I know there's some discussion that needs to be made here. The vice chair actually rotates, and so the vice chair now, that Commissioner Schultz was on, will fall on Commissioner Elena Sanders. I suggested that Commissioner Sanders get in, get her feet wet, and find out all the things that's going on the board. And so I asked that it roll over to Commissioner Cowan, well, Commissioner Henderson first, but he declined. And then it rolls over to Commissioner Cowan. And so that's why you see Commissioner Ronnie Cowan's name on the board. And if you got any questions, you can, Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
The reason why I think that Commissioner Sanders, and we should, well, first of all, we shouldn't even have a discussion, should be the vice chair, is because, as we all recall, about 4 years ago, you was elected chairman of the Board of Commissioners. In every duty that you took, I mean, you didn't know you know a little bit about it, but you just got in and you learned. It wasn't something where you said, well, I'm gonna set out for a year, or you could just throw somewhere in the lines then. And so what I'm saying is I think that we shouldn't even consider bypassing Commissioner Sanders because she is fully capable and she's very smart. In fact, I believe, I take that back, I know, her education level is extremely high, and that this is something that she's already done, but just not in this vineyard. So, you know, she's capable of doing it.
No doubt in my mind that she's capable of doing it. Excuse me, that's not why, I got you next. That's not why I asked for it to rotate. I asked for it to rotate so she can get somewhat comfortable with what the board is doing. But Commissioner Sanders.
Thank you so much, Chairman.
Mm-hmm.
The great thing about the election that I ran is that I won in June. So I had 6 months to actually look at the board and see everything that was going. I actually sat in the audience and watched everything, and I have done parliamentary procedure since 4-H in 5th grade. So parliamentary procedure, Robert Rules of Order, do that with my organization now. So I'm well more than capable, so I just want to make you confident enough that I can do that because God's allowed me the intelligence to do that, and I'm here to serve.
Anyone else? Commissioner Mason.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I know this is something that's coming before us, and I want to echo. I think Commissioner Sanders would be very capable, and we don't want to take that away from her. We're not taking away her education level. We're not taking away her capability of doing it. We're not even taking away, as she stated, even knowing Robert's Rule of Order. I can tell you how we do Robert's Rules of Order is a little bit different than most other organizations. And so I want to say, I think it would be in the best interest for each incoming commissioner. As the vice chair is not an elected position. Being a commissioner is the elected position. Being the vice chair is an appointed position. And so I think any new commissioner that comes on the board, it's their objective is to fulfill their immediate elected role, understand that role, get comfortable in that role, and then take on additional leadership roles on the board. So that's just my take, my view on it. I know when I came in 2018, I had to get comfortable in 2019. And I wasn't appointed as the vice chair until 2020. And so I think it's not about being capable of doing the role or capable of doing the job. It's a lot as a county commissioner to really learn and to understand this particular role. And I think once you get that role, then you'll be fully capable of taking on any additional leadership roles outside of that that may be appointed with this particular role. So that's where I stand.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Thank you. I don't know who was first. I think Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Because I've kind of been here for a while, several years. In fact, I'm in my 22nd year. I was the one that originally, not this board, but board brought this to the board and asked that we have a vice chair. The position was set up to rotate around the board. And all it was set up to do was to give that person a little bit of experience, maybe one meeting, or maybe two meetings to act as sitting in the chair seat for a minute or two. So he or she, in this case, she, would have that experience. It's not in a permanent position. It's just something that rotates around the board. And who's ever in that rotates to assume that position. Now, just let me say this, and I'm probably gonna go there a little bit. There was been seats in District 3 that have been, kind of people just stop and say, I no longer want to be in it, and and then they make motion for themselves to put in it, and rather than give her the opportunity of really servicing the citizen in District 3 that she was elected to serve. So let us just do what we're supposed to do the way it was set up, because there's nothing in there. And Miss Jackie, she might have been here when I did it. And there was something, and the reason, let me say this, I'm gonna be quiet. The reason why I did it, because City Government had a pro tem position, and the question was asked, did I ask the board, why do we have a pro tem position, and we can have a vice chair position? And we said, we just rotate around the board. And I think the first several times it was rotated, the chairmans always would do everything. Then once in a while, they said, well, I'm gonna do a little something, don't speak. But, I like I said, I don't even know why we're going there. Thank you.
Commissioner Sanders. Thank you, sir.
We all are elected officials, and we all started in this position not knowing from the beginning. There was no class besides ACCG when we ran that told us how to become a commissioner or told us how to become a chair. We had to learn that position and learn that role, as we see it's still happening now. So as a vice chair, it's an opportunity for whoever's in that role to learn that position if they ever decide to move up. So everything is a learning experience. Never deter somebody from learning.
I agree with you 100%, and that's exactly why I'm saying we want to give you an opportunity to learn. Not saying that you can't not do it. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying we want to give you an opportunity to learn. But anyone else? Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I certainly don't doubt Ms. Sanders, Commissioner Sanders' abilities, and I agree with what she just said in terms of having to learn from ground zero, and having to learn. I know sitting over here 4 years ago, learning from ground zero this particular position, and maybe being thrust into a vice chair role at that particular time would have been less stressful. But some of the things we have going on right now in terms of litigation, where I believe it's required, what will be required is going to be too much for a new commissioner. It would have been for me. So for that reason, I'll support Commissioner Cowan as vice chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, Commissioner Henderson. And after this, I'm going to call for
I have a
the
question
vote.
to the county attorney. And the question is, if this position has always rotated around this board, are we changing this position now?
Well, first let me say I don't know that it has always rotated, but since I've been here, it has. It has rotated right down the districts. I would recommend that you be consistent in how you do this. So if you're rotating through and it should be District 3, I would recommend that you continue with your same practice as you have in the past. Does that answer your question?
Thank you.
So you saying we need to, when you get the floor, you can. So you saying we need to, make Commissioner Sanders?
I would recommend doing the appointment just as that has occurred in the past.
Okay. So I seek a motion that we change, number 11 from Commissioner Cowan to Commissioner Sanders, State of Iowa County Attorney. There's a motion by Commissioner Cowan and second by Commissioner Henderson. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? It passed 3-2.